Hi, everybody. This is Denin Koch with WGMC Jazz 90.1, and I'm standing here with some of the members of Ozmosys, a band that you maybe haven't heard of yet because I haven't put out a record and they're brand new, but I'm willing to bet you may have heard of these guys. So, guys, I'll have you introduce yourselves real quick.
I'm Kurt Rosenwinkel.
And I'm Omar Hakim.
Man, it's crazy. I remember when I was looking at the lineup for this, I was like, oh, I don't know who Ozmosys is. When I looked at the lineup, I was like, oh. So great. So Omar, I was wondering if I could talk to you a little bit about what the inspiration to get this group together was. What was it like for you guys to come together and play together, and how did that go at first?
Well, I think once Rachel and I had toured with the Trio of Oz, we were like, the next project, we want to do something that's a little more hard-hitting, a little bigger sound, almost like even more of like a party fun kind of concept, you know what I mean? And kind of blend together all of our roots, which aren't just jazz. I mean, people that know my career know I've made rock records, pop records, R&B records, as well as jazz records. And I grew up listening to all of that music as a kid. So after being in the business for so long, I'm like, how do you blend everything you love into one sort of concise musical statement? And so that was the concept here with Osmosis, was to play with musicians that we love, like Kurt Rosenwinkel and Lindley Marth on bass and Rachel Z, but to have some fun writing some melodic music that also has elements of rock, elements of funk, elements of dance, and the improvisational language of jazz every now and then to just spice it up.
Speaking with Omar Hakim and Kurt Rosenwinkel of the band Osmosis here on member-supported WGMC Jazz 90.1. Kurt, so you came up in Philly at a time when there were a lot of players that are really big on the scene right now, with Joey DeFrancesco and Christian McBride. Talk a little bit about what it was like to grow up in that rich musical environment in Philadelphia.
Yeah, there was tons of musicians all around, and I used to go to clubs and sit in, and at school there was a lot of great young musicians. So it just seemed like everybody had a band and everybody was playing music, and it was great, really inspiring, really motivating.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, people may know you from your solo work. You've obviously released a number of records that have been very influential to guitar students like myself throughout the years. Talk a little bit about how you approach playing in an ensemble where you're a member of four and you're not necessarily band leader, composer, all that kind of thing. How do you bring your sound to the table?
Yeah, it's really fun to be in this band and just kind of like let loose and be in a context that's different from what I'm usually doing. And like Omar said, I also have these rock roots and growing up with a lot of different kinds of music. I love a lot of different kinds of music, so it's great to kind of access that different part of my musical world. So it's fun.
It's fun. And you know what? By doing it under the banner of a name, a band name, we can think more of a character kind of a concept rather than an individual. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm Omar Hakim and he's Kurt Rosen, and we're Osmosis, and I'm a part of the whole. I'm contributing to the music, I'm contributing to the sound, to the vibe, and there's not that sort of pressure. Oh, I have to show up as, whatever. I'm part of the cast in many ways. You know what I mean? And I like that feeling because now we can just cut loose, have some fun, and make it happen, man.
So one more quick question for both of you guys. Both of you benefited greatly as young musicians from the mentorship of older musicians, and you had a chance to kind of work with the older musicians and see what that was like. So now you're in a position now where you are both established on the scene, and you have an opportunity to see kind of who's out there on the scene for younger musicians. So I'm wondering if you can let us know who you're excited about, who's young and up and coming nowadays.
I'm excited by a lot of the things coming out of LA at the moment, like Louis Cole and Genevieve Artadi, and also one of my members of my band and who's a great artist is Pedro Martins, who's a real special voice, new voice, compositional voice, artistic voice on the scene. So Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with him on that one. I agree. Easy.
Yeah, and you played on Pedro's new record, correct? Called Vox?
Yeah, I produced it, played on it, and it's coming out. It's out on my record label, Hardcore Records.
Beautiful. Well, thank you guys so much. Great to speak with you. I know.
Let the fans know also. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Osmosis Band, OZMOSYS Band.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. I know we're all looking forward to hearing what you guys had to say tonight. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Right.